Welcome, Bear Nation. Anthony Brown here with Jamie Dickinson, and we're ready for another action-filled day here between the bricks. Women already got a win, and now the Bears, the men, it's their turn to take on the Cobras. LR coming into this contest 3-2, and the Coker Cobras at 0-5. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. We're having a big time. We're here. It's beautiful. We got the twin spires rising out of the ground on the far side of the field. The Bears are 3-2. They probably should be 4-1. They probably should have won that first game of the year against Indianapolis. But 3-2 is about where you expect the Bears to be with the preseason schedule they had. We're now going into SAC play. Coker's had a bunch of changes after the season ended last year. Their coach moved on and is now an athletic director at Providence Day School in Charlotte, and they're sort of starting over from scratch. So we'll see what happens between the Bears and the Cobras between the bricks this afternoon.
And you know just as much as I do that records, you can't always rely on them. You got to go play the game.
Yep.
Let's take a quick look at our team comparisons. So, mentioned before, the Cobras coming here at 0-5, LR 3-2. The Cobras, the biggest problem for them has been goal scoring. They've only had 31 goals scored in 5 games, whereas the Bears, they've had 58 goals scored in 5 games, and they kind of feel like that number's low for them.
Yeah, it really is. We've had some issues with shooting at the beginning of the year, and talking to Eric, who's working with the offense, there's been some people just not shooting from pipes. So, yeah, the offense, and it's also part of, you had someone for 4.5 years as the kind of the alpha wolf distributor of the ball. They've got the Bears really need to find that guy who's going to be the guy who says, give me the ball, let's create something. So that'll come, and they were a little frustrated in some of those early season games, but it's coming. I will say that the Bear defense has been phenomenal.
And we'll get to that. Shots per game. The Bears put up about 44 shots a game. And one of the things that they've done, this number feels a little screwed because they had a couple games where the numbers were higher than others, but turnovers. There's 78 turnovers in 5 games. And then really, if you take out the opening game against UIndy, turnovers really haven't been too much of a factor for the Bears.
Nope, turnovers haven't been too bad. Face-offs was a big concern of Coach P's starting the year. Our face-off crew is actually doing pretty well. We're winning. We were at the Tampa game. We won a bunch of face-offs in Tampa, but we won the face-off, picked the ground ball up, and then had it checked out of our stick. And I think some of those were ruled as face-off losses when actually they were face-off wins. So the face-offs really have been great, really more than what Coach P could have expected. And it was a great way to get tuned up for the beginning of the year in the non-conference stuff he played early in the year. And then the big one is ground balls. Ground ball play has been good, and we need to get a little bit more efficient on our man-up unit.
And for the Cobras, shots per game, of course, you've only scored 31 goals in 5 games. You're not getting a whole bunch of shots up. 26 shots per game for them, and the big number is 107 turnovers in 5 games. They're up for a challenge today with the Bears defense.
Yeah, and I think that's partially because the Cobras have, I think, half their roster are freshmen. And you know from playing football that high school speed and college speed are a different universe. And I think and I talked to some of our freshmen on the team this year, they were surprised at the speed and agility and athleticism of some of the guys that they were playing against. I'm like, but because every kid you're playing against is the best team on his high school team in college. So I think the Cobras have a bright future. They're just going to have to take some lumps here this year as they get their freshmen and their new players in the groove of what it's like to play in college.
And let's take a moment now and look at our head-to-head matchup. It'll be Torrin Eccleston and Cal Gibson.
There you go.
Cal Gibson for the Cobras. Eccleston comes into this contest with 16 goals on the season, 7 assists, and just 11 turnovers. And for Gibson, he's got 5 goals, 7 assists. So he's 12 of the 31 points for the Cobras. But the assist has been a problem for him too.
Yep. The one thing that when LR is going well, our goals are assisted. It's fast break, it's sharing the ball, that sort of stuff. It's moving the ball, getting the ball to the guy who if you have a legitimate shot to score a goal, but there's a guy standing wide open on the back pipe. The hallmark of all the LR teams is kids are not going to take the shot. They're going to throw that pass to the kid on the backside, and they're just as happy to get the assist as the as the goal. The other thing I will say about LR, I did some research, is the key number for LR is 12. If LR scored in the last 6 years, if LR has scored 12 goals, they win like 90+% of their games. When they're under 12, it's kind of a coin flip. So the key number for the Bears is get to 12 and see where we go from there.
And I think that's just a testament to their defense to know that they're not giving up more than 12 goals 90% of the time they play.
Yep.
Real quick, we'll look at the keys to the game. And keys to the game, I think they're simple. If you're the Bears, you have a team that hasn't won. You're a team you're supposed to be better than. Build a lead early. Next, play quick, play crisp, play your style of ball. And then lastly, just do your job. Don't do anything special because you're supposed to be better than them. It doesn't take a special effort. Just do what you're supposed to do. Get out of here with the win and healthy.
Yeah, what I always say, it's like the shower scene from Bull Durham. It's a simple game, boys. You throw the ball, you catch the ball, you pick the ball up off the ground. And if you can do those three things, the scoreboard's usually going to be heavily weighted to your side at the end of the day.
And we're under a minute to go. Teams are getting ready for starting lineups here. And it feels great outside. The weather on my watch says 70. The sun's out. Just a couple of clouds.
What you got a jacket on, though, for?
That's for style. It's for style.
And maybe you're from Florida.
Also from Florida. We got a great crowd out here today,
nice crowd
too.
Here. What's been really cool is we actually had the women's team join the men's team in the pregame tailgate, and which was a lot of fun to see everybody there. I see some alumni. We'll talk a little bit about a couple of alumni later in the broadcast. There's some alumni there on the sidelines from last year. Here comes Eric Dickinson walking up the midfield. I don't know what exactly he's doing, but he's walking around. But no, it's excited to be back between the bricks.
And we're back between the bricks. Bears going to look to get the first conference win on the season. We're going to take a break while they do the starting lineups and be back on the Bear Sports Network.
Hickory's Hometown Jeweler celebrates our hometown teams, college sweethearts. These couples met and fell in love in Hickory and have been together ever since. For the past 38 years, we've helped our clients celebrate a lot of milestones, and stories like these are some of our favorites. Bring your love back to where it all began. Show your college sweetheart the past as you look together to the future, and let us help you start your future here at Oz's Jewelers.
Back here on the Bear Sports Network, starting lineups being called out.
Yep.
And before we get there, I just want to take a moment and talk with you about the goalie matchup. For the Bears, you have in goal Noah Johnson. For the Cobras, you're going to have Ethan Hofert. And when you're a goalie that's facing an offense, the high-powered offense of the Bears, what do you think is most important for the Cobras to do?
I think what he's got to do is he's got to have success today. He's got to make a couple of saves. If he makes a couple of saves and seeing the ball well, he'll be fine. That's really the key. Is he wants to feel that ball hit his stick or the body on the first couple of shots. I think with the LR, he probably wants to take a step forward in his crease just to cut down a little bit more angle. And then with Noah Johnson, he really should have been an All-American last year.
Yes.
And he's the backbone of our defense. And what I've always said is he plays so well, the defense plays a little bit freer. The defense plays freer, so the offense plays freer. But he's the catalyst to the whole thing. So it'll be interesting to see how Noah does. I would hope that we would like you said earlier, go out and get a big lead. And what we can do is start getting some kids in who haven't played a whole lot yet this season to build some depth as we go into the SAC season, because by the time April runs around, it's going to be pretty hot, and we're going to have some depth on the bench to get us through those late season games.
And unless you're new to the conference, you know that South Atlantic Conference league play is no joke.
It's brutal.
Every game is something to take serious. No matter what the records say or what the history has said, you have to take every opponent serious. Teams get down. We're going to have Nathan Allen.
Oh, we had a face-off violation. Not sure exactly what that was, but he may not have come down square with the ball. But the Bears are going to start with the offensive possession. This one face-off violation for Coker.
And that's how we'll start off the game today. Kanata with it on the outside. And there goes the Bears now working it in.
That's going to be Overbeck. Yep.
A wild pass there. So not crisp early on, a little bit of an awkward start to the game from both sides. And now the Bears will have to settle in defensively once the Cobras can get their offense people out.
Great defensive play by the Bears to poke it away on the shot. Joe Venazio seeing the first action versus his old team. He played 2 of the last 4 years at Coker and has transferred to LR.
And Venazio's been a big part. As you see that shot bounce just off net. But Venazio, he's been a big part of the Bears' season so far in the success, was a big player in their opening game against UIndy.
Yeah, he's gonna be, as the season progresses and everybody becomes more comfortable, more familiar with each other, where I guess they're still learning each other, he's going to continue to be more and more important. He's a really heady, smart player. LR used to scout him. Ooh, nice job.
And a tic-tac-toe passing in front, finishes with Venazio. Talk about him, and he gets the goal.
From Voss from behind, and that's what we were talking about earlier. LR sharing the ball. Great pass from Voss from behind to a cutting Venazio from the top right. Bears are up 1-0.
And that's really become a staple of this team. We've seen over the last couple years, almost Miles has been more the guy behind the cage, directing the offense when he was passing to Eric. But now different players are in different roles, and you have to change. Voss has done a good job behind the goal. And
he's done a great job for a freshman. He's still working on dodging at the college level with the size and strength and speed of defenders he's going to be playing against. But he's going to do a great job, and he's got a little bit of the swagger. His high school club coach, Coach Case Wart, before Eric Wart, and now it's exciting to see another great player wearing number 42.
And Linklater gets us started quickly. A shot low from Miles Money Moffitt. And just like that, the Bears take a 2-0 lead.
Hey, and I just heard a little inside information this week. Miles is actually using Eric's stick, so that's a good sign. Miles was having a little bit difficulty shooting, and it's like a golf club. If you can't hit your driver straight, get another driver. So good to see Miles get on the board with a great low-to-low shot right off the bat. And
for Miles, I know it's been a little bit of a frustrating start to the season for him. He had big expectations coming in. Got to be a good feeling to have a goal going early.
Great to get one early, absolutely. Good job by the face-off.
And the Bears just keeping it rolling, keeping the pressure up.
It had to be difficult for Miles. He rolled into Hickory, and he had Eric as a running mate for 3.5 years when he had half the COVID year. And they would throw passes, and you would go, why the heck are you throwing that pass? Because they were throwing a pass to where there was nobody. But by the time the ball got to where it was, either Eric or Miles would catch it and finish. So he's just getting used to it, and the Bears are just going to be fine going forward as everybody figures out. We got Voss dodging from behind.
That's set up in front, and Miles Moffitt does it again. That was set up all by Voss, though. A nice dodge behind. Gets it in front and just puts it away.
Yeah, the Coker defense looks like they played a little bit of a zone. They had their eyes watching the ball, not watching the cutters. and that was a pretty easy finish for Miles. He did have to cross up and go, quote, Canadian, unquote, on that one, crossing, not switching his hands. I think Miles has actually scored less goals left-handed than Eric has scored right-handed in his college career. So, but it's again great to see Miles getting off to a hot start here.
And one of the things I know, I've had a class with Bryce Reese, and he talks about the movement and all that on offense, and just how they're still learning to hit the right lanes.
Yep.
When they're cutting.
We got another face-off violation on Coker. I can clearly see that the defender's stick was not parallel to the line. That's going to be a violation every time.
And now the Bears already up 3-0 early on in this one, looking to add more. Swing it around the back.
And here's Bryce Reeve with his first touch of the game. That never got there. That hit his defender who was guarding him on the way through. I think it hit him in the stick. Sounded like a stick.
So much speed from the Bears, and now they swing it across, looking for another opportunity. Gets it in behind. Voss in front, dunks it home.
Was that Venazio? Yep. Great to see Mike Cajolan out there running around on the field as well. I think he was a little frustrated in some of the first games that he didn't get a lot of run in those first few games. Great to see him out here on the second midfield. In 2020, when he was on the second, third midfield, he would go on the field and then instantly score a goal and have to come off, and all his teammates were giving him grief. We got a timeout for Coker. All the teammates were giving him grief. It's like, Mike, if you didn't score so quickly, you could play more.
Well, the Bears have scored quickly here in this one. They're off to a 4-0 lead. We're going to take a short break and be back on the Bear Sports Network.
I'm Rob with Center Street Eats. We're located at 2250 North Center Street in Viewmont. We offer fast dine-in and carry-out service. Usually your prepared meals at lunch from 11 to 3 are ready within 5 minutes. Center Street Eats also offers prepared meals and snacks, protein bars, smoothies, and so much more. We can accommodate most allergy restrictions and can adjust our weekly menu to comply with the most current trending diets like keto and paleo. Street Eats has helped fuel the sports programs at Lenoir-Rhyne for over 10 years now. We work with every program on campus, and we look forward to working with them again.
Back on the Bear Sports Network, Anthony Brown, Jamie Dickinson, and LR didn't waste any time. They were ready. Engines were fired off, and they were off the starting line. 4-0 here. Just been a lot of offense. Just been attacking from the jump.
One big change here. I see Dylan Stape here on the near side. He's gotten rid of his traditional black shoes, and now he's wearing some white kicks. So I'm going to have to give him a little grief about that in the postgame. Oh, great face-off win out the front.
And a good win out the front from Paulus. And now the Bears looking to set something up, trying to add on to the score. Couple of moves and a shot is fired in, but a nice save.
Yep, absolutely nice save. Now Coker needs to work on clearing. What they need to do when they clear is they need to go fast, because if LR has a chance to set up their ride, Coker's going to turn the ball over a bunch.
And turnovers have been a problem for this team. Coming into today, they had 107, and this is really their first offensive possession because they got a touch earlier and turned it right over.
Yep.
So let's see if the Cobras can get something here.
And we're under 60 seconds in the shot clock.
Passing around, a lot of passing on the outside, still not able to get really close to the goal. So the Cobras are now lining it up.
Yeah, again, the strength of the defense here is LR, if they don't have to slide, they're just great one-on-one defense. But what they've excelled at this year is the double teams. When they've turned a guy back, the double team has come from the backside when the player turns his head, and there's been a lot of turnovers created that way. So we'll see how that progresses going through.
When we talk about how young this team is, one of the lone seniors right there, Dominic Madlane, was able to let a shot off from pretty far out. I'm looking at the roster right now, and I see 4 seniors for this Cobras team, a whole lot of freshmen.
Yep, and that's a shot from 18, basically straight away from 15 yards is going to be a shot that Noah Johnson wants all the time.
And he makes a good save right there on one that's a lot closer in. Sticks knocked out of the hand, a good check.
Yep. It's a legal procedure, playing without a stick within 5 yards of the ball. Basically, if the stick's on the ground within 5 yards of the ball, you can't go pick it up until the ball gets out of the way. The reason they do that is it's a safety hazard. You could be bending down to pick up your stick, and you're legally able to be checked and blown up. So that's a good call by Dave Robinson, and we're going to go Coker ball again.
One of those few rules that's put in to protect the athletes, even if it doesn't seem like it helps you.
Actually, the new rules that they put in lacrosse, I referee high school lacrosse here in North Carolina, and we had our year-end thing, and the new rules that they put in against defenseless players and checks and that sort of stuff have reduced injuries in high school lacrosse by 40%. So that's actually a really big deal. Ball's on the ground here. Victor Powell. Coker's got it at X. Nice save by Johnson. Coker retains possession and a fresh 60-second shot clock.
And Coker right now, they're putting on a little bit of pressure, finding some success, but a game of runs that is lacrosse, and they're trying to answer the 4-0 sprint that the Bears had to come out and start this game. Shot goes wide there.
Blue ball. Just to refresh everybody, the ball is awarded to the team who is closest to the ball on a shot when and where it goes out of bounds, not just where. I had a game last night where the kid was chasing the ball out of bounds, ran out of bounds, and the ball went out of bounds, so he didn't count, so I had to go figure out who was the next closest player.
And that one is a fighting effort through about 4 Bears.
Yeah, that's never a recipe for success against this defense.
Yeah, Gibson, we highlighted him early. I believe there's no way that the Cobras are able to even hang around in this game if he can't figure it out offensively, but that's not how he's going to be able to do it.
No.
As Mad Lang takes a couple of steps.
Nice save by Johnson.
Bounces one in. Johnson saves it. Now the Bears look for a clear.
Dillon State running by a guy.
And in the open space, lines it up, fires it, and bounces it just wide.
That actually is not a bad shot for Dillon State. It's going to give us possession below at X, give us a chance to sub everybody off, and Coach P is probably okay with that shot. What he wouldn't be okay with that shot if he shot it high to high stick side and the goalie made a simple save and turned it over the other way. That's one of the things we did a little bit in the first 5 games, less and less as we progressed. But yeah, that shot's not a problem for Coach P.
And the Bears moving it around now, trying to find some more success.
I'm seeing lots of different player combinations, which is great to see, which just means Coach P feels we got sort of nice save by the goalie.
Nice save on a high shot to the right side of the goalie. Now the ball is bouncing around loose.
Venazio, great ride by Venazio. One more. Good decision by Moffitt to take it to X.
And a good job having it shut down. A bouncer goes in, and Venazio gets his hat trick early on in this one.
Yeah, nice to see Venazio rewarded with a goal for great effort on the defensive end. That's a nice reward for him, playing hard on the ride, creating a turnover, and then being able to capitalize and score a goal.
And for Venazio, that was really a one-man ride right there. Had just caused a bunch of havoc himself, trying to give him to pass it back and forth, got the turnover.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that any coach will say, that attackman, you're gonna turn the ball over in the offensive zone. If you ride hard, coaches don't have a problem because you're going to get the ball back, create turnovers, and create offensive scoring opportunities just like that.
And now Paulus is able to scoop up that ground ball and get the Bears out into the attacking third. Throws a bouncer back, though.
Yeah, I think that's probably a caused by the fact that he ground on his stick a little bit, and that stick was probably all tweaked up and bent, and so the pass just didn't throw right.
Now Bryce Reese, preseason All-American.
Bryce Reese needs to get a little bit going here. He's been a little bit frustrated in the first 5 games. He just needs to as I used to tell Eric when he was in middle school and high school, turn off your brain, just play. He just needs to see it, and great job by Cajolan.
Absolutely let one fly. That was far out, about 15 yards or so.
And that's actually something that the Bears have been missing from last year, is they're not getting a lot of outside scoring. If we can get Mikey Cajolan or some of these other guys, maybe Jackson Price, we'll probably see him later in the game today. They're great outside shooters. We need to get some outside shots to go, because then it will free up Miles and Venazio on the inside.
And for the Bears, we talk about it. They've been frustrated on the offensive side. This is one game that can help you get going.
Right.
But also, too, how much of it is just playing with a different set of players?
It's huge. With Eric and Miles for 3.5 years, they knew each other's tendencies. They would come out after practice during the week when there wasn't a practice and just practice throwing skip passes and balls to each other. They knew that if Miles was holding his stick a specific way, that's where he wanted the ball, and Eric would throw it there. The Bears here offensively have struggled a little bit with finding that consistency. I think they had a chance to just go to work and work on themselves and work on that sort of stuff this week in practice. There's a great double team by Dom Maggio creating the turnover, seeing the first action of the year and getting in the scorebook.
And now the Bears looking for the clear. Good job on the double team, working it up. Fan favorite right there is Mason. All the hair, long stick.
Yep. Great to see Dom Maggio, who was one of your teammates on the football team for a couple years, actually getting a little run here on the lacrosse field.
And early on, the Bears going into the bench, getting a little different of rotation of players. And how much will that help them as they move forward just in conference play, just to know that you can have other players?
It's going to be huge. It's going to be one of the things that helped us dramatically last year in the SAC tournament and the NCAA tournament is how deep we were. We had 6 short stick midfielders. We had defense that was interchangeable. We had offense that could go and play the attack and play up top and everything. And it's just depth is just something that pays you back later in the season in spades. So it's just really important that LR start to build some depth here. Speaking of which, here's Cajolan with the ball.
Looking for something. He's only got 8 on the shot clock. Got to go.
Yep, this is going to be a shot.
Reese fires one. It looks like that was deflected out of the stick.
Yeah, D-Tender did a great job getting his stick up in the shooting lane. We're just going to throw this in the corner.
3, 2.
Good job by Cajolan just to throw the ball in the corner, make them go 110 yards.
And the ball will turn over on a shot clock violation or possession violation.
Yep.
And got to feel good for Coker to get a stop there, something, as the Bears have been just an avalanche early on, 6-0 here.
Great ride by Venazio. Jared Maybrek out there on the field. Great to see him out there coming back from a knee injury. Great job. Great job. Yep, that's going to be legal procedure. That the ball was in the stick as it was cartwheeling through the air. That is playing without. So it's going to be a turnover. Great job by Maybrek creating that turnover, getting out there, being a menace on defense.
Maybrek causing trouble, getting the Bears the possession back. Already up 6-0, 4:35 to go here in the first quarter.
And we got Bell on the field. Bell got his first goal of the game last game. He needs to get on the – he's another guy who can really shoot from the outside. We need to go on. Great job with Venazio to Moffitt.
High-low, Venazio to Moffitt. You can get used to saying that one over the course of the season, especially as we get ready for conference play.
Actually, the next 2 seasons, because Venazio is going to be here for 2 years. So I expect a lot of big things out of those guys once they figure it out. It'll be very similar to what Eric and Miles had the last couple of years.
And for the Bears, we've talked about it for Coker, how young they are.
Mm-hmm.
But for the Bears, it's kind of like experienced, but they're still young.
Well, yeah, we played in 2020. We played a ton of freshmen. We beat Adelphi and we beat Limestone consecutive weeks with a bunch of freshmen, and they got like significant real game, great experience, and then the same thing happened last year. We really counted when teams would lock off Miles and lock off Dickinson last year. The freshmen had to go score goals, or what they were actually second-year players, but with COVID, I don't know if they're freshmen or sophomores or whatever.
Yeah,
but
who knows?
But it was just it's great to see if you look at the roster, LR still, if you look at just the classes, they're still a relatively young roster.
Yes, and they got a lot of experience through playing on the field. One of those guys has it right now. Passes inside, and another easy goal for the Bears.
Aiden Mowry getting on the score sheet. Aiden Mowry needs to get some confidence here, because just his stature, being a little guy, he's going to get lost in some of these defenses, and he's going to be a real asset on man up and in working on the crease like that. So great to see him get a goal. Everybody nice thing to see here is I think just about every goal the LR has scored here has been an assisted goal.
Aiden Mowry, freshman from Penn Yan, New York.
Yep, where it's about 20 degrees and snowing probably.
So this is a summer day to him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bears now up 8-0, 3:42 to go, still in the first quarter. Paulus trying to collect the face-off win.
Run away, son, you're being chased.
Able to do that. Pass a little high, collected for the Bears.
There's Kyle Hatcher with the ball on the far side.
Good to see him back and playing.
Absolutely, yeah. He was a little dinged up. Bears actually had some, like, Christian Starkey's got a quad or a hamstring going on, and I think they're just being extra super careful. We're going to really need Christian in the games later against Queens and Limestone. I'm sure they're just resting him up so he doesn't re-injure it in a game like this, so that he can actually play significant minutes in those really important SAC games that are coming up.
And goalie all the way out around midfield, doing a dance, trying to get out of his stick. Gets the pass over, but now it's another ground ball. And
nice ground ball by the goal. That's a great play by the goalie to go help his teammate on that ground ball. That's a good job.
Ethan Hofert.
Kudos to him. That was a heads-up play for him. Instead of just running back to get back in the goal, he went and actually helped his teammate and got a save, a successful clear, and a ground ball all in the same sequence.
And a lot of these kids, when they were in high school, they probably did more than just the one thing they do right now.
Absolutely.
Especially being the talented players you are to play lacrosse in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
So Hofert able to show a little bit of his skills outside of goalkeeping right there.
Yep, it's great to see that. But that's what the Coker coaches are going to look at the film and say, hey, there was an effort play. They can draw a real positive from that.
And now they're trying to draw a goal here, a
nice
shot
save
that's
by
shoveled
Johnson.
in.
We got a loose ball. We're going to have a loose ball push on LR. Yep, that's exactly the correct call. Loose ball. When an offensive player goes on his face in the front of the goal, it's typically a loose ball push. So Coker's going to have the ball with another 60 seconds to shoot.
1:52 to go here in the first quarter, and that was arguably the best chance the Cobras had. A little shovel shot by Gibson.
Yep.
I feel at this rate it might take a little something special to get through this LR defense.
Yep, it's going to be interesting to see what happens as going forward.
And now the Cobras.
I stand corrected. Dylan Stape's mom just sent me a text, says it's 45 and clear in Penyan. It's not 23 and snowing. So nice to hear we got a nationwide audience out there listening to the game.
Tuning in as the Bears are up 8-0.
Exactly.
Linklater lays one back. Voss is going to turn around.
That's a great decision by a freshman. Typically, a freshman is going to press a bad situation there. He didn't. Oh, he needs to go right there.
He does, and he scores.
Nice decision by
Aiden
Mowry there. He surveyed the situation. He was one-on-one with the goalie. Just instead of running right at the goal, he ran a little bit high to get a better angle and finished on top right.
Extends the lead to 9 here. Bears up 9-0. 63 seconds left to go, so possession clock will be turned off.
Yep.
And we'll just play based on the game clock for the rest of the quarter.
Shout out to Gene Kuhn out there in live stream land. I'm not going to give the Bills Mafia a shout out because I'm a Patriots fan. So, but thanks for sending us a quick note there. And I was rooting for the Bills once the Patriots were eliminated this year, but can't give a full shout out to the Bills Mafia.
I have neutral feelings towards the Bills. I don't love or hate them. I like some of their players, like what they're doing there. But yeah. Now we're down to just 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Reese gives a couple pump fakes.
Yep.
Resets. 20 seconds to go. Bears probably going to look to get something pretty soon.
Good job by Mowry beating the guy. Let's see if he passes. Oh, great low. Little bit of a force. He probably had Caholen open on the near side if Caholen had back cut, he would have had a little bit better opportunity. Good stop by the Cobras, and that's another thing that they can take a positive from in this first quarter.
And Just 1 second left, so that'll do here in the first. 9-0 is the score after one. LR dominating early. We're going to take a short break and be back for the second quarter on the Bear Sports Network.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
9-0 is our score here on the Bear Sports Network. Anthony Brown, Jamie Dickinson, and a hot start for the Bears early on. What did you see in that first quarter?
Well, first of all, I owe all the Lassiters out there in live stream land a little apology. I misidentified Dom Maggio. It should have been Aiden Lassiter making a great play. So great to see Aiden back on the field after some injury problems and spending a year away from the team, doing some stuff down in Florida. He's out there contributing. So great to see him out there. I will not make that mistake again.
And for the Bears, you got to love to see some of the players that they've had that have been injured over the last year or so just come back and make an impact for this team.
Great to see Jared Maybrick running around. Kyle Hatcher hasn't seen the field today, but he saw significant minutes in the first 5 games. Both of those guys are coming back from torn ACLs. Great to see them out there contributing. And it's just, again, this is a real opportunity for LR to build some depth. Get some guys some meaningful minutes against somebody in a different color jersey rather than in practice.
First quarter goal scorers: Moffitt, Mowry, Venazio, and Caholen, my bad.
Yep.
Caholen. Now in a little bit of a trap situation right there. Linklater is able to get out of it. Good work by the Bears as they set up for their first offense possession of the second quarter.
Torrin Eccleston with a ball.
Surprised we haven't heard his name yet today. He's been the leading goal scorer, point getter on this team.
And that may be intentional by Coach P to get some other people some run and score some goals and get them feeling good about things.
Never question Coach Paradine as he's coming off of winning a National Coach of the Year. Got his team back in prime position, sitting in the top 10 in the nation, and they're rolling early on in this one. As Kanata now has it. Cut and shot, and Mowry gets his hat trick goal.
There you go. Oh, and we have another weather report. It's snowing in New Mexico. Well, it's nice to know we have people, like I said, all over the Bears Sport Nation. Bears Nation reaching far and wide here.
Love to hear it. Love to see everybody tuning in as the Bears have now gone up 10-0 in Coker. Start of a long South Atlantic Conference play. Big game tonight in the South Atlantic Conference between Wingate and Limestone.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game at the Crown Classic in Charlotte. Limestone and LR played in that game 2 years ago in 2020. It was 2 games before the season was shut down.
Yes.
And that's always a great event. We got Penn and Penn State playing in the opener, and then we got Wingate and Limestone playing in the nightcap.
Pass into the middle, shot,
great
nice save. Kick save and a beauty.
Yep.
As the Cobras.
Oh, and we got an injured player down from Coker. He's going to get up. Yep.
And get a whistle. Looks like
Dave Robinson blew the whistle because we had an injured player. He's going to allow him to sub off. Player safety is important.
Ryan Bass, senior out of Austin, Texas.
Yep. He looked like he may have tweaked his knee a little bit. Nice. Coach Paradine pats him on the back as he's going to the box.
We said it before, this is a young Cobras team. You got to believe all the seniors want to play every second they can.
Absolutely.
To just help grow this program.
Yep.
Prideful sport lacrosse is.
Yep. But also it's great to see the sportsmanship with Coach Paradine patting somebody on the back as he goes off the field. We saw that quite a bit last year, a few times. Nice clear by Coker. That's a great job. That's a well executed clear by Coker with some pressing attackman riding there, and it's good to see them having success clearing the ball.
And the Cobras, they've done a good job of showing some skill, just haven't been able to put it in the back of the net and consistently get stops with the Bears. Can happen when you're a little overmatched.
Mm-hmm.
But they've shown some ability. Now they're on the offensive end, and the Bears look to keep this shutout going.
Nice save by Johnson. Went down and got it.
On a nice bouncing shot. He's able to get in front of it. A long pass ahead is unable to be caught, but
Mowry picks it up.
good job by Mowry to be there for the Bears. They keep possession, and they'll set up with Venancio behind the goal.
And that's great experience for a freshman to have to pay attention on a clear like that to go and pick that ball up. If he doesn't take off when he sees that pass is going to be going over someone's head, that's going to be a turnover going the other way.
Pass into the middle, a little high. Moffitt gets it, lets a bouncer go, and just misses the side of the goal.
A little bit of a mom goal there.
Tight angle shot from Moffitt. Seeing what the Cobras can do to answer. Weather reports keep flying in.
Weather reports keep flying in. It's 50 and sunny in New Jersey.
All I'm hearing is it's pretty good weather all around for most everybody.
We got a flag. We're gonna have a flag for delay a game. In lacrosse, what you have to do is when a whistle blows, the ball turns over, you have to drop the ball right at your feet. You can't roll it away because the whole game right now is about quick restarts, and if you roll the ball away, it's an advantage for the defense. So that's a technical foul on Coker.
One of the good things, and glad to see Bass, after having to leave real quick for injury, checked out and he's back in.
Good deal. Happy to see that. Probably got hit by that shot is what I think probably happened. That's what it looked like.
It's a fast game. Sometimes you just don't see everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
As that one is deflected on the pass. Good pressure. And possession will go the other way.
Miles is asking for the call to go the other way, but sorry, Miles, there's no replay in lacrosse.
So Bass immediately checks back into the game, causes a turnover.
Yep.
And now the Cobras looking to get a clear.
Nice check by Eccleston. There's Lassiter again.
A little bit of a fake. Back to Eccleston. A little showtime out here for the Bears. And for Torrin Eccleston, I already said it, he's leading the team in goals. He's just a sophomore.
Right.
So still a lot of experience left to go for him.
Yep. And that's great to see Aiden Lassiter. Aiden Lassiter was a great high school player out of Waxhaw, North Carolina. Struggled a little bit his freshman year. Great to see him back and competing. Like I said, took a year off from school and just couldn't be happier for him to be back out there contributing in a big way.
Bryce Reese picks up that ground ball. Goes over and a bouncer is fired into the back of the net.
Tommy Aguilar using a great three-quarter shot. Got a high bouncer. That ball actually bounced above the top of the crease and went in the top third of the goal. Goalie went to his knees as the ball was sinking, bumped up over his shoulder.
Tommy Aguilar from Advanced North Carolina, Forsyth County Day School.
Yep.
Gets his first goal of the game.
His mother makes some mean Italian meatballs for the pregame.
We'll keep that noted.
Everybody needs to make sure they come to the pregame or the postgame for the Queens game. That we got about 8 families that are making dinner for the guys that night. It's going to be Italian night, so you're going to want to make an appearance at the Bears Club after that.
Well, we'll make sure I get my tickets and reservations.
Yeah, just show up.
As the Bears, one of the things that I've learned about this program is it's very close-knit. It is a family-type program.
Absolutely.
Even from the top down, Coach P, he takes a lot of pride in just caring about his players and really their families and everything about them.
Yeah, I was talking to a player who a guy who played on another program in the SAC last year that I referee with, and he played for one of these other programs in the SAC, and they would say they would have 4 or 5 guys every year that would transfer out to play somewhere else. I think that there's been like 2 kids who've left LR that in the 6 years that I've been associated with LR who have left and gone to play somewhere else. So you have 4 or 5 a year versus 2 in 6 years. That shows how close knit this LR lacrosse family is, and also we have 3 more brothers coming next year of kids who are on the team. So that's important too. Coker throws it away with an unforced error right there.
And a little frustration, I think, starting to show offensively now for the Cobras is, that's just, like you said, an unforced error, just missed on the pass. Wasn't even close. And the Bears looking to get this clear.
Simple, clear, just run at a guy and force a double team.
And the Bears have really slowed down the pace a little bit to set up more offense, try to get some attacks. Linklater lets one fly.
You're going to want that shot back. You can't score high to high. Right. The goalie didn't even have to move his stick on that one. Kudos to the Coker goalie to basically stand his ground and make a simple save. You got to do that. But Mitch is going to look at tape and realize he needs to bounce that shot. Or nice ride, though.
And a shot.
Oh!
Empty netter goes wide.
Who was that?
Linsing. Colby Linsing.
Yep, that's going to be a little disappointed on that one. Basically, you need to throw that ball right at the middle of the goal.
They always say the ones that are the most open sometimes are the hardest.
Yep. Nice ground ball.
And the Bears got this one a little wide open right now in transition game. Running up. Couple of passes.
Nice save.
And Hoford in goal, he's impressed a little bit.
Very well.
A couple of nice, good saves on some bouncing type shots.
He's done really well on the low shots. Able to get down there and smother them. And here in lacrosse, it's kind of like get any part of your body on the ball, keep it from going in the net.
Goalie play can really spark a team. We've seen it before. I think we saw it a lot last year
with Noah Johnson.
The biggest game, of course, is the Tampa game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He just decided he wasn't going to let any more goals get through, and the Bears found some energy off of. Were able to pull off the big historic comeback.
He made 2 or 3 saves in the last 2 or 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. He made 3 absolutely stellar saves in the fourth quarter that allowed Colton McCracken to score the game winner with 4 seconds left.
Goalie play, one of those things that just doesn't always get the love it should, because you see the goals get past them and you just blame them.
Yeah, it's usually not the goalie's fault.
Gibson trying to take it into his own hands.
And that's spoken as an old goalie. So. The Bears are always going to give up more goals than a team that plays slow.
Because they play so fast.
Because they play fast, they're going to turn the ball over, and that's basically – we got a shot clock violation. It's going to be LR ball. It's going the other way. The Bears are always going to give up a little bit more goals, which is why probably Noah didn't get some All-American consideration. But he's absolutely worthy of an All-American nomination with the way he's been playing.
Low pass, unable to be controlled, and now Bass out and running.
A little bit of a hitch in his giddy up there.
A shot fired high, doesn't connect on the goal, so possession will stay here with Coker being the closest to it.
Yep, nice job by Johnson to step out from his goal line to cut down the angle a little bit on that shot, take up a little bit more of the 6x6 frame.
And one of the things with Noah Johnson that really sticks out to me is, like you said, the numbers might not always be in his favor, but the eye test. He passes the eye test, and he's did it since he was a freshman.
Right, absolutely 100%. He and Noah Lally came in as freshmen. Noah, he had left the team to run a successful business, but he's doing a great job. He's still always here at all the games. Nice save by Johnson. I think that was going wide, but way to collect it and start a break going the other way.
And now the speedy Linklater with the long strides getting into the open field.
Hatcher going across the top. Tied him up a little bit.
Nice action by the Bears on that one, just being able to connect. As the score still sits at 11-0, a long pass goes wild.
Nice ground ball by number 5 from Coker.
And that'd be Caden Gore.
Yep, that's a great job being similar to what Aiden Mowry made on the other end, aware of the pass going awry, and he was able to get to the ball and get it before the defender with a long stick. Yeah, we probably got Blue playing with a free hand. Yep, that's exactly what the call is. You can't make contact with the opposing player. You got to have with one hand off your stick. You always got to have two hands on when you're making physical contact. Good call by the official. Gets the ball up off the ground and into player's stick, so we don't have somebody get run over.
And lacrosse, a game that's so fast, a lot of the rules are just in place to make sure that something bad doesn't happen to somebody.
Yeah, in the rule book, there's like 6 pages of a legal procedure, which is a referee, that's your get-out-of-jail-free card. If you do the illegal procedure sign, most coaches haven't read all those rules, so you just go legal forward against Limestone, against Queens, against Wingate, against the rest of the teams that we'll see this year. That's how the Bears, that's a little bit reminiscent of the last 2 or 3 years. That's how the Bears need to play. Great to see that starting to come back into action between the bricks.
And for the Bears, you named it. It's a tough conference once you get started, but they're going to need a lot of the games coming into it 3-2, and not a lot of room for errors once you get into conference play.
They gotta win the sack basically here right now.
Bouncer goes in and just a little too low there.
Yep, and that's but you got to believe that there's going to be some. Wingate's probably going to have a loss at some point in time. Queens is probably going to have a loss at some point in time. There's 4 or 5. That's
Mason.
Joey Masson. Absolute cross check, knew it, but he stopped the play and he helped the Coker player up. Good to see that sportsmanship. He's going to spend a minute in the box.
Ethan Ramsey, player that was on the receiving end of that. Senior out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
Just your garden variety 1 minute cross check. Not locked in or multiple minutes.
And this has been a fairly clean first half for both sides. Got a little sloppy with the turnovers for Coker, and the Bears had about a 2-minute span where they couldn't complete any passes. But outside of that, it's been pretty clean. The Bears have just dominated. Yeah,
let's see how Coker runs their man up. This is going to be good live fire action for the Bears man down defense. They're going to have to be able to do this later in the year, so it's good to get them some real life time. Nice save by Johnson. Stayed home on that one. Didn't give up his post. Made a great save.
And Gibson tried to get the fake around and see if he can get Johnson off his post. Didn't.
Nope.
Now the Bears going for the clear.
And they are offsides. Yep. Delayed flag there, counting to 7. Coker, you always count offsides, counting forward. Coker had 7 players playing defense. You're only allowed 6. Cross the line just a little bit on that attempted check. They're going to look at film and say, like, we may be young and inexperienced, but that's a call that they've been dealing with since high school, so they need to do a little bit better job there.
Bears, it's been a little bit of time since they had a goal. Probably would like to get something now. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Reese looking for space. Swings it back around.
They're going to take this whole shot clock.
Pass across and unable to get a shot off.
Was that number 10?
It's number 10, Goldstein.
Yep, Jade Goldstein. He actually they didn't play his COVID year, and then he took a year off because it was all messed up in Pennsylvania where he went to high school. So that's his first game action in over 2 years of playing, 2 years of time. So good to see him run around down on the field.
Bears will now get the penalty awarded to him.
Yep, it's going to be a 30-second technical foul. You can expect the Bears man-up unit to go really fast here because you only have 30 seconds.
Manazio gets it immediately, turns.
Yep.
Moffitt trying to find somebody in the middle. Couple of quick looks for the Bears.
Yep, good luck. That's a shot. Oh, great unselfish play. That's great play by the Bears.
Sometimes I just got to let it show because that was beautiful by the Bears.
Yep.
Good movement around finishes with Tommy Aguilar.
That's a great example that we were talking about earlier, is that extra pass to the guy who's wide open right in front of the goal, unable to finish. Good job. Good man-up execution by the Bears, and Coach P's got to be really pleased with that.
It's one of those where you end up with about 3 or 4 looks that look good, but they kept working and found the best look.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before the game, before we came on the air, about you being a hockey fan. There were a bunch of hockey assists on that play. Good job. The face-off play's been great today.
Smooth and clean on the face-off there. Long pass ahead.
Great pass by Mason. We got Kyle Mason and Joey Masson, so it's a little confusing.
Now the Bears work it in. They're up 12-0 here. Just 70 seconds or so before halftime.
Shout out to Abuela, New Mexico. Howard's on the field.
Long coast to coast is what we work here. Nationwide is the roster. Nationwide is our broadcast.
Really continent-wide with all the Canadians we have on the roster.
This one.
Great save by the Coker goalie. That's a phenomenal save. Ball came through traffic, got down, took up the lower half of the goal, and was able to make a really good save.
Now we got an attack up top.
Dickinson.
Looking for some space. Turns, fires, and scores.
Who we got there? Number 35, which is
Colson Burgee.
Yep. Great job by Burgee.
Colson Burgee.
Great to see some, like I said, freshmen and kids who don't get to see a lot of playing time. Coach P is basically emptying the bench here. What I see is a lot of starters standing down there on the far end of the bench.
And this is the stuff that really brings the locker room together. We talked about how much of a program they are as a family, but they go in the locker room and they can talk about this. Everybody can feel a part of it.
Yeah, and what's really important actually is you get the starters standing at the end of the bench being cheerleaders for the guys who don't get to play a lot. It gives them a taste of what it's like to be there, standing there at the end of the bench, which is great. Because they understand what it's like to be there, standing there rooting it on, and they appreciate even more the effort the guys give on the bench in a close game.
And a nice steal right there.
We got 8 seconds. We just need to not run it, just move the ball through the air. Oh, Voss needs to be a little bit more aggressive moving to the ball.
That'll do it for us here in the first half. So dominating in all ways was LR there, 13-0. We'll take the halftime break and be back for the second half of action on the Bear Sports Network.
Hometown Ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
Everything the light touches will be yours. you must remember who you are. The one true champion. We are LR.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are LR. We are LR.
If you play hard, if you use your feet to chase fitness goals, if you stand all day at work, introducing True Energy Infrared Technology Socks. These may be the best socks you ever wear. Our yarn is infused with infrared nanoparticles. Your body's natural heat ignites these tiny particles, producing infrared energy that improves circulation and stimulates cellular recovery. It's not magic, it's rocket science. The perfect sock for your active life, for fitness, performance, recovery, proven innovation to ignite your true energy.
Paramount Kia in Hickory. We want to see you driving a new Kia or, hey, a quality pre-owned Kia. We've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned Kias. You got to get to Paramount Kia in Hickory, Highway 70, ParamountKia.com.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Hey Bears fans, Dave here with Everett Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, your local hometown dealer since 1967. Come see us in Hickory or Morganton to check out all of GM's hottest new products, the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles, and service you can depend on. Visit us online at everettchevy.com. Good luck to the Bears this season, and remember, if you didn't get an Everett deal, you didn't get a deal at all. Go Bears!
Emergencies don't wait. Get to the hospital. Accidents happen. Get well soon. When it hurts to move forward, tackle your pain. Don't make your health wait. See your doctor. Your health means everything.
Celebrate great with Carolina West Wireless. Great new phones and a great customer experience, all on our great nationwide high-speed network. Stop by today and get big savings on select Samsung smartphones, like $350 off the Samsung Galaxy S20 and S20 Plus, and $350 off the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra. The great savings continue with 4 lines of unlimited data for just $35 a month per line. Celebrate great savings and go stay connected wherever your travels take you.
excellence, integrity, care, curiosity. These are the values that define who we are. A community of thinkers, competitors, and achievers passionately pursuing the path of a purpose-driven life. Because at Lenoir-Rhyne University, we are called to greatness. We are LR.
This once-in-a-generation project will give student-athletes an advantage and position Lenoir-Rhyne as a leader in academics and athletics.
Back here on the Bear Sports Network, 13-0 was our halftime score. Some of the halftime stats we got here on the Bear Sports Network: 22 ground balls for the Bears, 9 for the Cobras, 7 caused turnovers by the Bears, 2 caused turnovers by the Cobras. Turnovers in general, 13-8. Cobras had 13, 8 for the Bears. So not the cleanest of halves for the Bears. They've had cleaner, but 13-0, and they've pretty much done what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely. It starts with winning faceoffs. Winning faceoffs and picking up ground balls. That's what you got to do. We got lots of fresh faces on the field, and it's going to be interesting to see how we go here into the. We got a whole different group of guys, defensemen, and same thing on the attack.
So clearly, I think Coach P is expecting a couple more goals out of this group before he makes some changes. Sumner for the Bears will be doing face-off duty.
Great job. Way to control it. Doesn't extend it far away from his body, so he's personally able to contend. You got to run, son. You're being double teamed.
And a nice check right there, loses it. But
good job by Kyle Mason to stay with it. Gets it to attackman, someone with a short stick who's paid to score goals. Number 10 on the field.
Goldstein. Yep. Jaden Goldstein out here getting good run.
We got 43 behind the goal. That'd be Jackson Price, I believe.
Passes. Goldstein finishes.
Nice job by Price and Goldstein. That's Goldstein's first career goal. And the bench is jumping up and down. The guys on the starters on the end of the bench are jumping up and down, celebrating.
$14-0 here. The Bears have done their job so far. They haven't really taken this team lightly. They've respected the game.
And we got number 40 in the goal here.
New goalie in as well. So, Ian Ellis. The goal was scored for the Bears, and then they win the face-off, go back out. Look to set up again. We saw that in the first quarter. They scored 4 goals in about a minute and a half.
Great ground ball play there on the wing for our short stick D middies. Our short stick D middies have been a real strength of our program after the last couple years. I want to shout out to Ben Yock and his dog Rooster. They're still the number 2 raccoon hunting tandem in Southside Virginia. However, they have been elevated to the number 1 rabbit hunting tandem in Virginia, West Virginia, and North Carolina. Congratulations to Ben and Rooster. Ball cycles through X. A little bit of a telegraph on that pass by Jackson Price. Now we need to ride and get the ball back. Great job. Nice ride.
Bears regain possession. Look to set up another offensive set here. Chris moving. Tic-tac-toe behind the back.
Nice save by the Coker goalie.
A little flare.
A little flare from Jackson Price.
I like to see it. Taking advantage of his opportunity, but goalkeeper for Coker, Hofer, he's
had a good game.
He's been impressive. He's done some things. He's shown some skills outside of goalkeeping as he has right now, carrying it through for the clear. And then saving it. He's had a couple of kick saves that have been beauties.
Yep, absolutely.
Turnover there. Unforced error.
Yeah, unforced error. Simple pass. You got to catch that. The sun may have been a little bit of a problem. He was looking right into the sun on that one. With the stands not being there, it's been a little bit difficult, and we got some don't have the foliage on the trees on the west side of the stadium, so we're getting a pretty bright sun here.
You get the full view of it now while construction work's being done. Little jab step, fire, left high. Mowry will go behind the goal and retrieve it. Get the Bears started back up with 60 seconds. We'll have a stop right here, though.
I don't think we had a shot clock reset. I think that went over everything.
So I think that's what they're about to figure out. 58 seconds, it looks like.
Good job by the officials to get it right.
Now, just wondering, it's not the windiest day we've had here, but how much does wind play a factor in?
If you don't, basically with lacrosse, if it's a windy day, you got to throw a hard pass. If you throw a pass with arc in it, the wind's going to affect it. That's not the wind affecting that pass. That's basically trying to throw a pass with your elbows by your side. He knows it, and you're going to end up short arming that, and it's going to end up short. That's a typical pass. You just got to. Good form is to, as you throw a pass, you got to raise your elbows and get them up so you can throw it hard. That wasn't the wind. But yeah, you can't lob it in the wind because the wind will affect the ball. You got to throw a hard pass, but you got to throw a catchable ball.
And when the Bears played against UIndy, they had a lot of just loose passes. I had talked with Bryce Reese about some of the problems and what he thought caused it. But, passes left high and just left, wide right. When you have a game like that, is it just mechanics and not staying sound? Or
basically what it goes back to is when you're tired, you go back to what you practice. And so when you practice, you got to practice. That's one thing that Eric always did when he was doing shooting drills. He would shoot and shoot and shoot to the point of exhaustion, and then when he got super tired, all he would do was what we call form shooting, which was just absolutely correct form. So when you got into a game and you're tired, you're always going to go back to what you practice, and if you practice correct mechanics shooting, that's what you're going to go to when you're tired. And I think that's what the Bears need to work on. Is just it was more in that first game against UIndy. It was more just mechanics.
And that one is fired. Goes 5-hole Brandon Webster.
Here we go. Nice to see Webby on the board.
Freshman from Huntsville, North Carolina, gets the goal right there. Nice 5-hole shot.
Yep. And that's, again, what that was right there, just what we were talking about. That was a absolutely textbook, like you are taught in rec ball when you're 10 years old. Straight over the top, bounce the ball about 2 feet in front of the goalie. Good things are going to happen. So that's a good example of correct mechanics leads to a positive play.
And the Bears continue their dominance in the face-off circle. Another win sets up for the offense possession, 15-0 here. Working it around, a lot of new faces.
Jack Dickinson on the field with the ball, circling.
And one of the things is all these players are talented. You see a nice dodge, an attack, and a goal.
Goldstein again.
Jaden Goldstein taking advantage of his time.
Is that a hat trick for Goldstein?
Pretty sure. That should be a hat trick. It might be definitely 2.
Yep.
Definitely 2. Second one this half. We'll go check our stats and see if he got one in early on. Just two so far for Goldstein.
There you go. Nice face-off win. Great job. Way to get it to the guy with a short stick.
And now the Bears back to work, 16-0. Cleaned up for, I think, was probably a little bit of a lackluster second quarter for them. Mm-hmm. Knowing Coach P, he expects these cats to perform at a high level.
He's not going to stop coaching. He coaches the same intensity with the 2s and the 3s and the 4s on the field as he does with the 1s. So they know that they're going to get. They know that they're being coached exactly the same. What they end up is, they perform well, they're going to get a chance to play in some more high pressure games.
Well, dodge there and a shot that's bounced wide of the goal, and things like that is one of the reasons why kids don't transfer out of here, because they know 100%. No matter what, they're going to get the same level of coaching, whether they're a starter or they have to work their way up the ranks.
Yeah, it was great. Eric's freshman year, Coach P started playing a lot of freshmen. Basically, if you were going to give the Bears the best opportunity to have success on the field, you were going to be on the field. Didn't matter if you're a 5th-year senior or a freshman.
And a shot that's wound up, fired, and saved.
Yep. I think the defender got a stick on the Price's shot just before he released it, which is what killed the shot a little bit. But nice to see Jackson actually shooting the ball. That's one of the things that we've been talking about in practice. Like, Jackson just needs to shoot the ball. The more he just needs to get a little confidence, shoot the ball, and he's going to start scoring goals. And he'll be another one of those outside shooters that the Bears are going to need to have later in the year.
And all these kids, they were so talented that sometimes you can come into a different level. And you talked about it, the difference between high school and college. Mm-hmm. It is a difference. I don't care what level you're at, D3, D2, big-time conference, small conference. It's a jump. Mm-hmm. It's a jump. And sometimes you just lose a little confidence in what you do.
Yep.
Good pass into the middle, turns, fires, and the first goal of the game for the Cobras.
Good job by Coker. That's a nice play, sweeping behind the goal. X throwing it to an open guy up top from about 10 yards, and a good shot low to low, getting it in. Well done by the Cobras. Nice to see them with a little positive. We've got some Coker fans over here to our right. Nice to hear them having something to cheer about.
Justin Behay, all the way from Culver City, California.
Wow, that's a long travel.
Whew. A long trip all the way coast to coast. Found his way to Hartsville, South Carolina.
And that's an indication of just how much lacrosse has changed and where kids can come and play in college from. 15 years ago, you wouldn't have had a kid on any roster, D1, D2, D3, from California.
Nice pass, jump.
Off the crossbar. Good ground ball by the Bears.
Webster was able to scoop that one up. Nice shot. Bears looking for more. Pass to the back line.
Great job by Mowry.
Gets goal number 5 on the day.
Great job by Mowry. He based by the Bear offense. Basically, when they picked up that ball off the shot that went off the crossbar, they went really fast. They went away from the ground ball to the far side of the field, and then through a skip back through to Maury on the backside. Just good offense by the Bears. Great to see that out of our 2s and 3s to basically exactly what Coach P is looking for the starters to do as well. Got a legal procedure penalty. It's going to be white ball.
We left a little early on the face-off, I saw. And face-offs, that's one of the things I thought is the coolest part about lacrosse. It's just, and it's such a skill. It's such a skill to just be able to dominate in a circle like that.
It's a skill, and there's been some movement about wanting to take lacrosse, take a face-off out of lacrosse, and I don't think that people want to do that. They've changed the face-off rules to the point that it's actually speeding up the game a little bit, and it's an integral part of the game. And there are kids who are going to be able to make college rosters and play lacrosse simply because they're good face-off guys. Bears need to move it quickly off the ground. Nice job by the Coker defender getting his stick up on a passing lane, creating a turnover. Good job there.
Yeah, Nathan Allen, good work to knock the pass down and then scoop the ground ball away to safety. Now let's see if the Cobras can get the clear. As Hofert hasn't done it, then they've struggled, but he gets it done right there. Cobras, they break the seal. They get one.
Yep.
Let's see if they can set something up here, or if that's all the Bears are going to allow.
Yeah, it's good to see them get on the board. Got some scores from around the SAC here real quick. Anderson beat Lincoln Memorial 24-6. Belmont Abbey, the Bears played at Belmont Abbey last year, beat Catawba 14-6. And we had North Greenville, Miles Moffitt's brother. They won 15-14 over Lander. Queens beat Newberry in a barn burner 16-12. Oof. That's a lot of goals in that game. UIndy beat Montevello by 4. That's something interesting for the Bears. Bears need to have UIndy keep winning. And from your part of the world, we got a flag. What do we got a flag? Someone's going to the box of shame. Tusculum is up 12-6 on Mars Hill in the third quarter. And Limestone and Wingate start at 6:30 in Charlotte.
That's going to be a fun one.
That is going to be a good one. But yeah, we need to. With Tampa also won today, so we need to have. Even though the Bears lost to Tampa and UIndy, we need to have those two teams keep winning. That's just going to help the Bears' strength of schedule going forward.
And in both of those games, the Bears gave themselves a fighting chance.
Yeah, there was
UIndy, like you said, that's a game they want back.
Yep.
At the end of the year, no matter how far this team goes, they're going to look back at the UIndy game and they're going to have some regrets about how that one finished.
And the Tampa game was a one-goal game until the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, and that was the difference in the game. And so we need. I mean, the Tampa. I think the Bears want that one back as well. So that's off the post.
You don't think? I think games like that Tampa game too also shows how the Bears want some depth.
This is not the shot clock reset needs to be 80 seconds, not 60 seconds. But we're going to go ahead with that.
In a 16-goal game, I think something like that might be able to slide through.
Yeah, but we had actually watching the Syracuse Army game on tape last night. There was a really weird play, and I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's an official. On a shot like that, when it goes off the crossbar, nice defense by the Bears, and the ball is awarded to the offensive team who just shot in their defensive half of the field. The shot clock reset is at 80 seconds, not 60 seconds.
It's crazy how those things happen quickly after you have a discussion.
Yeah. It's like last year we had the first game of the year, we had a foul for illegal touching, basically someone grabbing the ball with their hand. I hadn't seen that in 4 years of college lacrosse. I saw it 4 times last year.
Just one of those things that it'll find you.
And that you feel a little weird as a referee calling illegal touching in the lacrosse game.
Bears back on the offensive end. 35 seconds to work on the shot clock. A little dance behind the goal.
Dickinson moving across the top.
Lets a shot fire, a bouncer that is
Great
saved.
save. Good job by the Coker goalie. I think that ball might have been going a little bit wide, but great job of him getting his stick on the ball to create that turnover, basically, and give Coker a chance to play offense. That's a little bit of a force of a pass. Nice check in the defense by the. Need to pick it up. Good job. Throw it to someone with a short stick.
Loose in the midfield right there. The Bears able to gain possession. And Hoford, if there's anything I've noticed on him, is he's a really good reaction goalie.
Yep.
He's playing right now with a lot of reaction. It's not just his positioning. He's able to get his hands and his eyes to the ball.
Yeah, the big thing you talk about with goalies like this, if you're seeing the ball, you can usually stop it. And he's seeing the ball really, really well today.
Bears working it around. A bouncer.
That's
that
off
goes
the
off the post.
This is not going to be over and back because it. How's that over and back?
I think they're going to talk about it. Yeah, they're having a conversation about it.
We're going to have a conversation. We're going to go to AP. We're going to go to AP. That means inadvertent whistle. We're going to go with a thing called AP, which is alternate possession. It awards the ball to LR. AP changes to Coker, kind of like the jump ball arrow in basketball.
I was just about to say that.
And now if we get a decision like that where there's an inadvertent whistle and we need to award possession, ooh, that's off the post too.
A couple of good looks from the Bears.
Yep.
For Hofert. That's part of your job as a goalie, is just to make sure there's no room.
Yep.
If they're hitting the post, that doesn't hurt you.
Nope. And goalies have been known to talk to their goalposts. They're a little bit psychotic that way.
It's almost like being a pitcher in a way. You're an island over there. It's a little different because you got some support from your defense right in front of you.
Yep.
But you got to be on it. At the end of the day, it's about you making the saves.
Yeah, I remember growing up. Big sensation when I was growing up in Massachusetts was Mark the Bird Fidrich, when he would talk to the baseball and the mound and the rubber and the dirt, and it was a little bit crazy. Goalies are kind of like that.
Bouncer that goes just wide. 18 seconds on the shot clock, so the Bears going to work pretty quickly here.
Yep, good shots by the Bears. 18 seconds, you can still be a little bit patient and run some offense and make a good pass.
Voss with it up top.
10 seconds, move it and shoot.
That hits somebody.
That never got there. Nope. They're gonna call LR in the crease. That's a turnover. Turn the horn off. That's not a goal. Good clear by Coker.
Bouncer from a long stick.
Yep.
Doesn't make its way through. Coker will keep possession. Clear the ball off the field, and a little bit of a wild sequence right there.
Yep. A little bit of a scramble drill. Typically the Bears do really well when it's a scramble drill.
And I think that's one of the things that Coach P does. He coaches so good. It's been that way under him.
I remember in 2018 when Bears made a run to the national semifinal, they actually, when we were playing offense, I was talking to the coaches that year, and they wanted the ball to go on the ground. We're going to have an interference call on someone from LR. Yep, it's an interference call. It was interference because he landed in the crease. Basically, the referee killed the play because the Coker player landed in the crease. He was pushed by an LR player more than 5 yards from the ball. You're not allowed to push him anyway because Coker had possession of the ball. And so that's an absolutely correct call by Dave Robinson. That's interference. Coker's going to be man up for 30 seconds.
And the Bears have done a good job in all phases of defense today. Really taking care of it in the man-up portion. It's the one opportunity that was having earlier. Didn't lead to any goals. Now the Cobras got 45 seconds on the shot clock. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Gibson runs around behind the goal, looking for some space. Not a whole lot of cutting.
Yeah, they're pretty much working. They're looking for a skip pass. It's going to be awful hard to get a skip pass through on the LR defense.
And
And a
Tough angle shot right there.
Real low shot. That goalie didn't have to move a whole lot to make a save on that one.
That's a tough angle, too. I don't know if he'd been able to find the back post from where he was. Gave it a chance. 24 seconds on the shot clock, under 30 here in the third quarter. Gibson with it again. Rejects the screen and is turned away.
Yep, Victor Powell's a menace back there.
Gets inside, unable to get the shot off. Kind of crossed up on the pass is Haskett. Just 6 seconds, got to go. I don't think Gibson understands. He's only got 2 seconds. Has to fire one.
Yep. Shot clock violation. Good defensive stand by the Bears. Bet you they just chuck it to the other end of the field, or maybe they just stand there and just hold it.
With 8.4 to go, moves it up. 5 seconds. One.
Oh, that's right.
And nothing happens at the end. So Coker gets on the board. LR extends their lead 17-1. We're heading into the fourth quarter on the Bear Sports Network. Fourth quarter about ready to go here on the Bear Sports Network. It's been a fun one. I know the score says it's 17-1, but it's been entertaining. Both sides, good play from both teams, and not one of those games that's really dragged on. The Bears have been efficient. They've gotten a lot of players involved, been a lot of names on the score sheet. And for the Cobras, they've shown some talent too.
Yeah, and they're going to, I mean, the scoreboard may not show it, but they've had lots of little victories today, and there's going to be something that their coaching staff can build off of and find some positive in.
Knew they were coming into a big challenge.
Between the bricks.
A place that the Bears have started to just dominate over the last few years. It's really hard to come in here and do what UIndy did, get a win between these bricks. We saw it happen last year one time with Wingate, but for the most part, it's tough sledding once you get to Hickory.
And I actually think if the Bears want to achieve what they want to achieve, we're going to see UIndy again. We're going to see Tampa again. We'll probably see Wingate twice. We might see Queens twice. There's going to be a lot of lacrosse played here in April and May. The SAC tournaments here at LR.
That was a great turnout for the SAC tournament last year.
That was amazing. How
all
many
the
people were here.
schools.
Yep.
And that one's fired.
That's a great shot by Jackson Price. Congratulations on your first collegiate goal. That's what we're talking about. Just catch the ball and shoot the ball. Don't think, just shoot.
My God, Jackson Price.
He has a cannon.
And that one was fired off. That's something I've noticed that the Bears were missing. And I think that's a little bit of impact of just not understanding how much Eric Dickinson brought to the team with his rifle he had from so far out. They haven't had that this year.
Yeah, in the Tampa game, he scored the first goal of the game. He caught the ball at about 19 yards and shot it at 17 yards. And Bears just need to find somebody to shoot from the outside, whether it's Caholen, whether it's Price, whether it's someone else. Great check by the Coker player number 17 not to give up on that ground ball after he lost the faceoff. Made a great trail check, turned the ball over, and Coker has an opportunity to clear and play some offense.
Yeah, Nathan Allen, sophomore out of Petersboro, Ontario.
Yep, great job by him. That's just an effort play. That's a big green check in the positive column for an effort play like that.
That's the second one he's had that's really nice like that. He had one in the third quarter as well. So Again, we've said it. They've shown some talent. The score might not show everything, but Coker has definitely impressed in a lot of ways.
But they've also showed like they are playing as hard as they can. They're not folding the tent. They're not giving in. They're playing hard. They're just frankly a little bit outmanned there on the Coker bench with a program rebuild and so many freshmen. But Coker's going to be really, really good in 3 or 4 years. These freshmen stick around and play together. By the time they're sophomores and juniors and seniors, they're going to be a really good team.
And this is a tough conference, and it just continues to get more talented. A pass on the inside, a little bit of a cross up.
Oop, number 4 in goal for LR right now.
New goalie. Nico Morates.
What do we get? Oh, we had 2 balls on the field. That was a little bit confusing.
But the Bears are able to clear it, and now off to the races.
Yep, throw it early. You got to throw a better pass than that. That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier about when you're running down the field and you're tired, like maybe a little bit tired, you got to throw a good, clean pass. Here's Kyle Mason. I thought Kyle was going to go to the goal.
I think everybody here wanted him to go to the goal.
Absolutely. Especially Wendy and Doug back in Pennsylvania. Nice ground. Oh, he just needs to pick that. Number 23, that was a perfect ground ball. I think he gets rewarded by picking the ball up. Now he needs to run away. He ran into a double team.
Ethan Ramsey.
Great job by Ethan picking up that ground ball. Put his shoulder in the LR player, bumped him off the ball, and was able to
Good save there.
Yep.
Kept it alive, and the Cobra's able to keep possession.
And that's going to be
Takes
a flag.
a shot.
Yep, 100%.
And Price.
Jackson Price is working on a Gordie Howe hat trick here. He has a goal, an assist, and now a penalty. Another flag. Yeah, Maggio is going to get a flag.
And somehow the ball just stayed in the stick of the Cobras through all that. Henry Haskett gets up, put a shot on goal, was turned back.
So Jackson Price is, we give for kids when they have their first collegiate goal, we put a ball and right on it. And Jackson's ball is going to say Gordie Howe hat trick, goal, assist, penalty.
Busy day, just making sure you're all over the stat sheet.
Yep. And Maggio gets in the scorebook with his first penalty of his career. Didn't catch whether it was 2 pushes or it's at least 1 push. And
now the Bears are going to have to really work defensively here. Shot fired from far out.
Crossbar. That's gonna hit the dorm back there behind the field.
Yeah, I hope some windows were left open, or else you might have to replace them over there in the Morgan Hall. That one had some heat on it.
I'm surprised Eric didn't break a window back there with the way he shot the ball off the crossbar every now and then.
Oh, he used to let some fly. That one's nice
save.
Good read on it.
Oh,
Gets
great
across.
Outlet. That's a dime. Share the ball. Oh, catch the ball.
Long pass, shot.
Oh, no. That's an unselfish. And Maury's getting beat up over there with the ball on the ground.
Maury, the smaller frame.
But his heart is as big as they come. He's an old high school wrestler. Great job.
Gets inside, nice dodge.
Save.
And that one's off the side of the face almost.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hofert. And a great pass.
Yep, super pass.
Goalies right now are showing out on both ends.
Absolutely.
Gibson, he's been kept in check all day. Good job by the Bears just defensively, not allowing him any space to run. And
oh my goodness, that's a hip.
Yeah, that's not good right there. We're gonna hope that it's not as bad as it looks, but that he jammed up on that play a little bit, just a misstep. So
we should probably.
For Kel Gibson on the play, just a misstep on it.
Yep.
We're going to take a quick second, let him get attended to,
yep,
and be back on the Bear Sports Network.
Moret Stadium is an iconic part of LR athletics, hosting games, tailgating, marching band competitions, sports camps, and graduation ceremonies. The stadium serves as a valued focal point for the greater Hickory area. The time has come to renovate the stadium to allow LR to continue to offer our student athletes, fans, and the community an exceptional experience.
Coker player looked like he was offsides. They're going to ignore that one.
18-1 here. 9:50 to go, and that's the one thing I think that could happen now that could just ruin the game. As long as there are no more injuries, It's been a good game so far for both sides. It's been a good day for both sides. A lot of things to take out of this. It's a wild pass there.
That I'm not sure that wasn't just a really good check, and a lot of times when you get a check from behind like that, the guy gets all stick and pulls down. It looks like a push behind. I'm not sure that was a push behind. The Coker fans over here to our right are mumbling a little bit about that. I don't disagree with them at all on that call.
Now the Bears work it around. Had to take a second look at it before he fired. It's Kobe.
With the ball.
Looks in, fires, misses. Just wide.
Good job. There's another great play by the Coker, effort play by the Coker goalie, backing that shot up.
17-goal game. It's easy to not give all the effort you need to in a game like this, but pass right there is intercepted.
That was a little bit of a force. Threw it to a guy who was rightly covered.
Hatcher with it now. Passes off to his brother.
Hatcher and Hatcher.
Like a law firm out here doing business, and fires one into the back of the goal.
There we go.
Hatcher and Hatcher combine on that one, just like they always did in the backyard, I would assume.
Exactly. Probably less fights here than there were in the backyard. If the Hatcher brothers were anything like the Dickinson brothers, there were some pretty classic backyard battles that usually ended up with somebody crying and coming in and saying so-and-so did such and such.
As an older brother myself, I can confirm that these are all true statements.
Absolutely.
It's just part of growing up.
There's that old fatherly advice. Spit on it, rub some dirt on it, you'll be fine.
Exactly. And the Bears now at 19 goals. Going to work it around on the outside.
Here comes Dickinson off the bench. Here comes
just an update around. Right across the street, baseball team is in game 2, bottom of the second inning, and it's 2-2 in that affair. LR took game 1, 11-0.
Hustle play by Jack Dickinson behind the goal. Now he needs to pick the ball up and move it.
That's exactly what happens. The ball's picked up, and now the Bears are moving it around on the outside.
Let's see if the Bears find Dickinson to reward him for that effort play on the end line. He needs to catch that.
They do find him. Gets up.
Oh.
Nice split right there. A flag is on the way. A fake, a shot, and a goal.
There we go.
That is just picture perfect.
That's just effort. That's just an effort play.
That's one that's going to go up on social media. That's a good look. You go pick up the ground ball, you split the double team, give a little bit of a fake, and then beat a goalie that's been solid all day near side.
And Grandma June out in New Mexico, that one was for you.
See on the replay, just good work. Like you said, hustle all around, never giving up on the play.
Ran right at the goal, which is a good technical play.
And goal number 20 was a pretty one. Bears gather the face-off, look to advance it up again. And again, they're on the offensive side looking to attack. It's one sign for the Bears that just knows they've been in the right this game. They haven't been on defense a lot. There haven't been a whole lot of opportunities for Coker, and that's what you would ask for, especially being a top 10 team facing a team that you're expected to be better than. You wanted to have a lot of possession today.
Great ball movement by the Bears. Keep it moving.
Good catch.
Great job by Hatcher to go to a knee to catch that ball. Good job by Voss.
And finally, the Bears are able to get some quick offense here in the fourth. It's 21-1.
So nice play by Voss from behind. Let's give you some updates on some D1 scores. A score of interest here at LR. Coach Paradine's oldest son is going to end up at Dartmouth next year. Dartmouth has won 11-9 over Siena. Let's see. Tony Reese, shout out to Tony Reese. Big upset. Cornell 14, Ohio State 11.
Wow.
North Carolina, there's a barn burner. North Carolina 17, Denver 16.
Oh, that's two good programs right there.
Duke 14, Richmond 8. And let's see what else we got. Brown put it on Providence 22-10. Trying to find Virginia. Virginia is playing. If anybody wants to watch how lacrosse is supposed to be played, catch a Virginia game. They smacked Hopkins 19-8. And let's see, shout out to the Service Academy. Air Force beat Marist. Navy lost to Lehigh. Too bad there. In the third quarter in Charlotte, Penn and Penn State. Penn is up by 1, 8-7. That's a defensive battle there. So some great scores from all around college lacrosse today.
Now, personally for you, as a fan, and being the fact that you were a former goalie, what do you have more appreciation for, the low-scoring defensive efforts or some of these high-scoring affairs we see now?
Sometimes a low-scoring game can be absolutely just edge of your seat, nail-biting. It's who's going to make that one play to win the game. Mm-hmm. But then you get a game like the national quarterfinal at LR in Tampa that was 17-16 in overtime. So there are yings and yangs to both ways. I know a lot of fans like to see the total goals up around 30, but sometimes when it's an 8-7 game, it's just that's actually usually a really clean game.
Yes.
Not a lot of penalties, and two teams just basically standing toe-to-toe throwing haymakers at each other.
Personally, I think I'm starting to lean more towards those defensive games. A game like lacrosse, I get so amazed at just watching how teams are able to shut down some of these high-powered offenses, especially with the rules today, the different systems.
Here's a score from D1, Maryland and Notre Dame. You would think that game would be around 30. Maryland won 11-9. So that was probably a heck of a game to watch. I think I have that on DVR at home, so maybe I'll watch that tonight when I get home.
Maryland lacrosse, big powerhouse.
Powerhouse. But then Notre Dame is an associate member of the ACC, and they play in the ACC. And they're typically they want to play super up tempo, and what those games are is I'm sure that game was Maryland was able to dictate how that game was going to be played, and got Notre Dame to play slow rather than to pass. And that's a chess game where you get a game like that. That's going to be the game against LR and Wingate on the 13th of April. So Wednesday, we hope we have every alumni from LR in the Charlotte area. Ooh, nice shot by number 18.
An absolute rocket fired into the back of the net by Reese Remeka.
Reese
Remeka?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Remeka.
From I believe he's from Trumbull, Connecticut.
I can tell you exactly here. In Trumbull, Connecticut. You got it right there. Look at you. Man that knows his information. But that play, real quick, just want to let you know, that play right there just broke the record for most assists in a game by the Bears.
That's great to see that, yes, we scored 22 goals, but the vast majority of them have been assisted goals. We went early. that Wingate, the Wingate LR game on the 13th of April. I hope everybody in Charlotte and the surrounding areas comes down. We're going to start tailgating super early on that one, so everybody come and join us. But that's going to be Wingate and LR over the last couple of years, since Eric came into the program in 2017, has always been who can make the other team play their style.
Mm-hmm.
If LR is able to speed up Wingate, I like the LR chances. If Wingate is able to slow down LR, the pendulum swings over to the Wingate sideline a little bit. So that's great slide by Maggio.
A long shot that's fired wide. So
great to see Maggio running around out there. He's ball going back to the Bears. He hadn't really played lacrosse in, I think, 3 years. So I think Coach P really wants him to get used to the game and get back out there playing so that he can be a force when we have some of those big games down the stretch in later in the season.
And being a dual sport athlete is something that is not that uncommon for lacrosse. These are athletic kids. They can do. There's so much carryover for skills for other sports. As you see, once fired in right off the face mask. One of the most famous lacrosse players right now in the D2 level, really was D1 level, but he was D2 quarterback for Ferris State, Jared Barnhart.
Yeah, he was a beast at the D1 level.
Yeah, and what's crazy is his last high school football game. The last football game he lost in his career was to my high school.
There you go. That's a fun and interesting fact there.
Regional semifinals in Florida in 2015.
Yeah, he was an amazing player for Maryland, and then he had a great save by the Coker goalie.
Webb, the new goalie.
Do we have a new goalie in there?
Yes, we have a new goalie. Logan Webb, or Lou Webb. Is
great
now
to see him make a nice save there.
And Barnard, he was a heck of a D1 lacrosse player, then came down to D2 and won a national title in football.
Yep. And they absolutely and oh, by the way,
LR
guess who's coming between the bricks next year?
LR will get to see that Ferris State team.
Yep.
So a lot of fun stuff happening and a lot of athletes in this game on this field that could easily take their talents to another sport.
That's one thing that Eric said when he got here to LR and saw how much fun it was to play LR football with Coach Cronick. He wished he was a weak side linebacker, strong safety in high school. He wished he had played football in high school. And good job by the Coker to move the ball around. Number 30 for the Cobras ends up with a great shot.
Kristen Johnson absolutely fired one. Simpsonville, South Carolina, so not too far for home for him.
Yep, good job by Coker. Nice round of applause from the Coker fans to our right for them to put one in the net with 1:10 left.
This program, it's young. It's got a lot of work to do, but there is a lot of promise just in the support and then the talent they have on the field. They've shown some good things. They're just dealing with a team that's better than them, and that happens.
And that happens when we have a rebuild thing going on. That's one of those things. And but it was good job by the Cobras to keep playing hard. Again, when they look at tape, they're going to see them working hard with 1 minute left in a down by 20, and they're going to be able to take that as a real positive that they kept playing hard and scored a goal with 1:10 left.
And, I mean, they can look throughout the conference and see what a rebuild could look like and how fast it can happen. I just look at the Newberry team a couple years ago. They were in the same position. They were bad, not looking all that, and then they kept growing. And now they're a competitive team in a very, very tough conference.
I tell you what, Newberry can score some goals.
Yes, they got a couple of attackers that are.
They are. Let's see what was that Newberry game a final? I forget if it was or not. But Newberry can absolutely score a bunch of goals.
The Bears look like they're going to play keep away for the final 45 seconds here.
Got 60 seconds of the shot clock, 45 seconds in the game. So the Bears are just going to just going to take the ball to X and run around behind the goal.
And for the Bears, they'll get their first conference win. They'll move to 4-2 on the season.
Yep.
They'll move to 4-2 on the season, 1-0 in the conference play, and they will get a huge matchup next Saturday against Limestone.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Wingate Limestone game here tonight. One of those teams is going to have a loss, And if it's Limestone, they're going to be pretty desperate not to have 2 in-conference losses.
And it's not just the desperate to not have 2 in-conference losses. As the clock goes final, it's the consecutive losses to the Bears. As the Bears, that's a team that they've had dominance over.
Yep.
We'll look ahead to that game in the future, but right now the Bears take a 22-2 victory over the Coker Cobras today. Really start to finish dominated in every aspect.
And we got the new lights doing a little light show here between the bricks.
They were testing it out just a couple days ago, and now the new lights coming in. Players are celebrating on the field. A good performance to move to 4-2. Crisp everywhere. I think they hit on all the keys of the game.
Absolutely good job by the Bears. Well done. Got to see a lot of fresh faces playing today and a lot of different people scoring. Nice to see. Really, shout out to the Coker Cobras. They're a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with here in the next couple of years. They probably have to take their lumps here this year, but in a year or two, they're going to be, with the experience that these freshmen are getting and bringing in another recruiting class, they're going to be fine. Just keep your chins up and keep playing hard.
And for the Bears and for LR, it's almost a full sweep of Coker as women's lacrosse wins, men's lacrosse wins. Softball took both of their doubleheader. Baseball took game 1, and now there's just one more left for baseball to take the final game.
Anybody got a score of the baseball game?
It was 2-2 last checked in the bottom of the third, so
here we go.
Plenty of time. But
go Bears.
The Bears are going to try to pull off the full Saturday sweep. We thank you for joining us here on the Bears Sports Network. Anthony Brown, Jamie Dickinson, and everybody involved. Shout out to Kennedy Connor being on the computer.
Kennedy needs to wear some more clothes. She's looking a little cold here in the booth out here, exposed to the elements.
Well, the game's over, so we're about to go get some food and get warm. Thank you for joining us, and have a great night.
Go Bears.